What's up, sarsaparillas? It's your girl Sassy J, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, guys. It's time for another Love Island review, and we're on episode 27. Yes, guys, but before I get into the video, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get updated every single time I upload a new video. So guys, it was recoupling time tonight, and I'm not gonna lie, I've got feelings and they're hurt. Okay, I'm like heartbroken, guys. Like, I feel hurt for Tyreek, and I know a lot of people's gonna say, well, he's getting back what he gave first to her and whatever, but I honestly think that those are two different cases, two different kind of situation, because obviously we see Ella decided to recouple with Ouzy, which, you know what, I must say, I actually wanted Ouzy to be in the main villa, so it's kind of like a little bit of a sweet moment for that particular circumstances. I wanted him to be in the villa. However, I didn't want Ty to be standing there alone, because I know that the fact that this has happened, it has broken him and his trust. Do you see what I'm saying? And I know people are going to say, at the end of the day, Sassy, you know, he was doing this and he was doing that. But you cannot compare the two situations, because when he was trying to get to know other people, they were opened. Whatever that means, they were open. They both kind of said, like, listen, we'd get to know other people. And even before any of the bombshells came in, he was always honest to Ella, saying, listen, if somebody comes in, I'm going to get to know them, and so should you. And they both had that agreement. Fair enough, Ella did not like it most of the time. Should I'm saying she did not like it, but he was always honest about it. He decided to close off because she asked him to. And he weighed up his feelings and decided, listen, what I have with Ella, it's worth it. So I'm going to close myself off. So obviously going into Casa, one would assume that, you know, they've made this decision, so both of them would stick to it. Obviously, Ouzy came in and there was chemistry from before Love Island even happened. So that kind of made it a bit tricky for Ella. And I understand it. She wanted to see whether there was something else, but you can tell the regret on her face. I think she was low-key hoping. She was low-key hoping that Tyreek would have recoupled. Because if he had recoupled, she would have had something, some kind of ground to stand on to say, well, at the end of the day, I had my reason not to trust you and I was right. But she doesn't have that ammunition right now. And you can see the hurt. That man, he stood there like a broken man. And I'm not going to lie, my heart broke for him, because it's hard not to. I feel like we've watched his journey. We've watched him being completely open. And I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Tyreek, but at the end of the day, and I guess it's because of his behavior when he would say stuff like, I missed the game or whatever. But those are two different times, y'all. There were different times. Do you see what I'm saying? He wasn't committed. None of them were committed at that time. Do you see what I'm saying? And then he went from somebody who's never been in a relationship, never really wanted to commit, never know what it feels like to have these emotions, to want to, you know, put one person as a priority. And now he's done that. And I feel like, honestly, even if they do go back, he's adamant saying that it would never happen. But I feel like even if they do go back, she's not going to get that same Tyreek. He's probably just going to end up messing her about multiple times, if not in the villa, outside, because the trust has been broken. And I don't know, especially when it's somebody like Tyreek, you see what I'm saying? Because he's already blaming himself. He's already blaming himself. I think at this moment, he's blaming himself more than he's blaming Ella, because he's thinking to himself, you know what? This is what I get. This is what I get for trying to commit. This is what I get for wanting to do the right thing. This is what I get for giving my heart or my feelings to somebody else. I should have just kept it and played the game and just do what I wanted to do and not give a F-U-C-K. I think this is his main thing. And you could tell that man wanted to cry, y'all. He wanted to cry. And I wanted to cry for him. Like, I don't know. If that was me in that situation, I don't know. I probably would have started bawling out my eyes. I ball out my eyes. I'm not going to lie. And this is probably the first time, like, I've watched, and I've been watching Love Island for some times, and there've been a lot of situations similar to this. But if I was to be completely honest, I think this one is the most touching one for me, because I've seen the journey. I've seen the journey that he's been on. And I feel like when you're somebody that's not good at, like, you know, expressing your feelings or opening up to somebody else, and if it takes a lot for you to do that and make that step, you know, to get like shut down or like a slap in the face, it's hard to recover. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you're struggling to open up in the first place and to give your heart to somebody in the first place, and the first attempt you try to do it, you get burned, how do you do it again? How do you muster up the courage to do it again? And you can hear him. He told them, like, she literally scare him. And she scares him because of the feeling. It's not necessarily her. I think it's the feelings that he's feeling for her, because we can tell that Ty is feeling a lot of emotions towards Ella, but he was always trying to play it cool, trying to downplay it and not trying to give too much. And I think that's natural for somebody who's never actually been in that situation before. Listen, I can only think about how I would feel, because I'm not somebody that opens up like that easily. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I open up to somebody and I finally give myself and my heart to somebody and I get hurt, you're looking at some years before I'm able to pick myself up and be able to trust somebody to give my heart again to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And even then, at the back of my head, I'm thinking, I don't know if I should be doing this. So I'm hurt, guys. I am truly hurt for Tyreek. And I don't know. He said that they could be friends. Do I think that he would forgive her? I think there's a possibility that he could. It's a very slim chance, because ego has a lot to play in it as well. And like I said, he finally committed and he got slapped in the face for it. So there's a small chance that he would. Do you know what I mean? That he would consider it, but it would never be the same. She will never get back the same Tyreek pre-Casa Amor. And I think she will have to either accept that and hope for the best, or try and make something work with Ouzy. Nevertheless, I'm happy Ouzy came over, because I really did like his personality, and I really kind of felt like he deserved that chance. And I was kind of worried that, you know, he was going to invest so much in Ella and it would be in vain. But obviously, clearly, at this moment, it's not. But was the risk worth it? Only time will tell, y'all. Only time will tell. So now let's move on to this particular one, because this one aggravated my whole being. Montel. Now, Montel had so many different opportunities to be honest in the situation, right? So many opportunities just to be honest. And we can see even in tomorrow's preview, this boy is still lying through his big ass teeth. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, he downplayed everything. Like, when he was giving the speech, I thought to myself, oh my God, Leah, girl, you about to be single, honey. But then he said that he's gonna stick. So I'm like, okay, you know. I was like, okay. But then when Tinks was talking, and then he's like, come on, like, come off it. Like, he was rude, dismissive. It was disgusting behavior. And I felt like, definitely, I had my suspicions, especially after the whole last night when he was just like, to the boys that, you know, the kiss didn't make any difference to me. But then he was saying something to her, saying that, you know what, we have more chemistry and we have more, not more chemistry, we have more in common than me and Leah. You know, and I'm just like, do you know what I mean? I was like thinking, nah, I think he's playing a game. But this has confirmed it to me. That boy ain't loyal, and that boy belongs to the streets. Now, Leah, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but right now, throw Montel in the motherfudging bin, because that's where that boy belongs, in the trash, okay? Because at the end of the day, there was no need, absolutely no need for him to behave the way that he behaved. At the end of the day, he could have just kept his mouth quiet, didn't say nothing, or he could have just said, you know what? I did have chemistry, or I did have a kiss, or I did feel like I have a connection, and, you know, I tried to explore it, but then I decided to stick with Leah. You could have said something. He basically disrespected that girl, used that girl, and made her look like she was nothing, like she was some kind of gum that stuck on his shoe, that he had to, like, scrape the shoe on the friggin' pavement to get that gum off his shoe. Like, come on, who the hell do you think you are? What's wrong with these boys? Honestly, like, that situation just aggravated me. And you know what? I actually liked Montel. It took me a while to know what I felt towards him, because I didn't like him and I didn't dislike him, but I liked the relationship that he had with Leah. But now for me, that boy ain't genuine. He ain't genuine. He's not genuine. He went in there with a game mentality and he's trying to hold on to it. But like I said, throw the whole boy away. Trash him, bin him, flush him. I don't even give a damn at this point. But that boy, for the bins. For the bins. Now let's move on to Scott and Catherine, because obviously our girl Catherine recoupled. Yes, honey. And you know what? I ain't mad about it. I love that for her. Okay? I love that for her. And you know what? Scott is acting like he did this because he had feelings for Catherine. Scott wanted to move to try and move on with somebody. He tried to make a connection with Gabby, right? I think that if Gabby was more full on Scott, then he would have been a lot more open to the situation because he really liked her, right? But at the same time, Scott was in like a hard place. He was between a rock and a hard place. And the reason why I say this is because he had just gathered everybody at the fire pit, you know, to prove that, listen, my feelings is genuine and we have a connection, blah, blah, blah. So because he had gone out of his way to make such a big deal about it, for him now to try and to get to know somebody else and to recouple, that would have put him in a very bad situation. And he know that would have put him in a very vulnerable place to be dumped from the island eventually, because especially if Catherine had decided to stick with him. And he's obviously making his decision based off that. So it's literally just him trying to play the game and trying to beat the game in the best way that he can. Not because he's got connections and feelings and chemistry for Catherine. That's some bullshit. Okay? That is some bullshit. And that's what he's trying to say to her now. But obviously, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that she found someone. Because, you know, look at how he responded. Look at how he responded. He was the same one that said, you know what, we were both open, so anything can happen. But yes, still, she comes over and you come with this attitude. You come with this attitude in the sense where you're like, oh, well, you know, obviously all those comments was basically should have been aimed at you and not me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that she was a quick thinker to say, actually, no, babe, they're still aimed at you. And I'm glad because we see her in the preview for tomorrow night saying, listen, you know, there's no way you did that for me. You didn't do that for me. So she's obviously realizing that, listen, he's playing a game. You know what I mean? He didn't recouple because he wanted to be with her. He didn't recouple because he didn't want people to continue to say that he's playing a game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that she's able to see that. But do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I feel like she made a connection with Ilome. And I love this for them. I really like them together. I think that they make a good couple. He makes her laugh. She's always giggling. And you don't see that chemistry with her and Scott. And her and Scott's been in there for quite some time now. And if you don't see it yet, you ain't going to see it already, okay? So that's where we are with that one. So Sammy, MrConfused.com, decides to recouple with Amber. Like, I feel like I've been around the world with Sammy because it was Jess, no, it was Gabby, no, it was Amber, no, it was Gabby, no, it was Amber, no, it was Jess, no, yep, actually, it's Amber. You see what I'm saying? And now he's saying, well, saying to Jess, well, let's not write it off, you know, we'll have conversations after. I'm done with this whole situation. I get that he had to choose somebody because he was single, you know, he had to choose somebody. So I'm hoping this is his chance now to either make it completely official and very clear to Jess that, listen, I chose Amber. I was single. I had to choose somebody. I chose Amber because I feel like she's probably the better person to choose with the connection that I had. But I want to stick with you. I want to get to know you properly. I want to make that move with you. Do you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't do that and he's completely still open with the Amber situation, then just leave the boy alone because him for the streets. Do you know what I'm saying? Just obviously she decided not to recouple. Here's my thing with this. I was hoping that Jess would low-key recouple with Ouzy, right? Because if she had recoupled with Ouzy and brought him over, it would have been easier for Ella because Ella could have still gotten to know him, or Katie could have gotten to know him, or any of the other girls who decided to get to know him could have gotten to know him. And Tariq would have not been stood there on his own. This is my way. I was hoping, okay? Leave me alone, y'all. Leave me alone. But anyway, so yeah, I was kind of hoping for that situation. Because it made more sense than for her to come over on her own. Because obviously she would have automatically assumed that she was in a friendship couple anyways. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you're in a friendship couple anyways and you're going to recouple, you could have just recoupled with, even if she wasn't going to do it with Ouzy, she could have recoupled with one of the boys that she was talking to. Because at the end of the day, do you know what I'm saying? She was in a friendship couple and it would have given somebody else the chance. For me, it makes sense. You would have given somebody else a chance from Castro Moore to come over to find love. She didn't. She wanted to come over and be single. She had that chance. She had that choice, I should say. She wanted to come over, be single, and wait for Sammy. And obviously, you can see the disappointment on her face when Sammy is coupled up. But if I was to be completely honest, I know that situation isn't done yet. So I'm not going to stress too much about it because I know he's going to have a conversation with her and they're going to have that conversation back and forth. And he's going to be like, oh, I still want to get to know you, da-da-da-da. And it's going to be what it is, guys. So we'll just have to wait for that journey again. So put on your shoes, your traveling shoes, because we're about to travel in a different direction with Sammy and Jess. So buckle up, guys. Buckle up. But anyways, Katie. Obviously, Katie decided she was going to stick to Zach. But we all knew how that was going to turn out, right? We all know how that was going to end the moment Molly came back into that villa, okay? We knew how that was going to end. So, you know, I was a little bit kind of like, oh, bless her. Do you know what I mean? I felt bad for her because it can't be a good feeling walking over. Do you know what I mean? Making that decision, walking back and realize that person is there. It was awkward as fudge. Because here's the thing. I feel like had it been any other person apart from Molly, Katie would have gone off. You would have probably seen season 2 Katie. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if it was somebody else, but because of the whole situation of how Molly went, I think she feels like she has to kind of hold back. And it was awkward. It was so awkward. And you could tell that the look on Molly's face is almost, she's like, yeah, bitch. And what? I got my man back. Okay? And what? And what? She was like, literally, she had the most smugged look on her face. It was no joke. Do you know what I'm saying? But it was awkward. And you know, Zach can't take confrontation to save his life. You can see everything that he's feeling on his face, like the devastation. He doesn't know what to do, the confusion. He can't stand to be in certain situations, and he can always tell when he's feeling awkward, when he's feeling uncomfortable, and it was all there. What I will say though, when they ask him, when Maya asked him, listen, do you want to say anything to Katie? And he's like, we'll have a conversation, not now. We'll have a conversation later. I feel like that was the best decision. Sometimes it's best not to air things out like that and just to have these more kind of intimate and more personal chats. But the problem is, from what I see with Zach, right? Zach sometimes he will say something and then act something else out. But I feel like if he does this in this situation with Katie, that's when we're going to see season 2 Katie, because I don't think she's going to put up with it much, okay? But saying that, Scott is single, Tyreek single, I think. Katie is single. So now the 2 guys that Katie was actually interested in, Scott and Tyreek, they're both single. Now, obviously, we see Katie was trying to play like a good little, you know, wing girl for Ella, but Tyreek was not having it. So will Tyreek give Katie the time of day? Would she want to pursue that? Would she risk it? Because knowing the fact that there's a lot of emotions going on, like obviously it's kind of different, isn't it? When, you know, when you first enter and you're trying to build a connection with somebody, because, and then they're not really that invested in the relationship. But with Tyreek, he committed and there's a lot of feelings on his part. So would she want to go there, knowing that at any moment he could decide to forgive Ella and go back? Do you see what I'm saying? Or will she just try and get to know Scott instead? I feel like Scott low-key was a bit happy in a sense, because I feel like he wanted to get away from the Catherine situation, but not be the one responsible for breaking away, if you know what I mean. I feel like he kind of felt to himself, yes, I can get to know Katie, but now, you know what I mean? People's going to be looking at Catherine, not at me. So I'm going to be the one that's standing here. I'm the victim because I decided to be loyal and she didn't. But that's not going to work, Scott, because we see through you. We see right through you, okay? But anyways, guys, more exciting news. Our girl Whitney recoupled. Yes, and she decided to recouple with Lacan. I don't know, guys. Listen, you guys have heard me trying to pronounce this guy's name in so many different ways. I'm going to have to hear a bit more. I wasn't hearing more of it in Cash or More. I wasn't hearing it that much. So at the end of the day, I didn't catch on to it, but I feel like I'm closer now. Because at first I was saying Lancome and it was not Lancome, okay? But I think it's Lacan. But she recoupled with him. And I'm really hoping that he is not, you know, his intentions is correct and it's right and it's sincere. Because at the end of the day, when they want to come over from Casa Amor, they be faking feelings, okay? And I really hope that that's not what he's doing. She seems happy. He seems okay. Am I trusting him yet? No, I think it's a cute little thing. I really do. I think it... But at the end of the day, I'm not sure if I trust him yet. I have to wait and see, you know, because now Katie, he was interested in Katie and Leah, right? And Leah's situation, obviously, she's still with Montel, but after finding out all the stuff that she's about to find out, will she be more open to him? Do you know what I'm saying? Because he looked like he was really Lacan. I don't know. He seems like he was more interested in Leah than anybody else. And then he had interest in Katie as well. So Katie is single and now she has a sea of men to choose from. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's see how that will play out. But if he be using my girl Whitney, we gonna get him dumped, honey. Okay? We gonna get him dumped right where he belongs. Okay? So you better not play with us. Do not play with us. All right. But anyways, guys, I think I covered everything. No. I forgot myself some Mitch. Mitch, guys, finally in a romantic couple. I'm actually happy for Mitch. I'm happy for Mitch. I feel like Mitch and Abby is suited. They're a bit goofy and it's like similar energy and it's matching. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the energy is matching and I'm liking it. I'm loving it for him. I love this for him. I'm not gonna lie. You can see how happy he is. Everybody can see how happy he is and everybody's happy for him. Obviously, Maya asked him, is this done with the mess? And he's like, oh, there's always gonna be a bit of mess, honey, okay? And believe it, okay? I honestly do not think that Mitch can help it. Mitch is just messy, but I like messy, so therefore we're gonna go with it. But anyways, guys, I think I have done everybody now, and it was interesting. I want to see how this is gonna unfold. I am very much kind of like glued into what's gonna happen with Ella and Ouzy and Tyreek. I like the fact that Tyreek didn't show any bad blood towards Ouzy, do you know what I'm saying? Because that can be a very awkward situation. And at the same time as well, Ella did bring over Ouzy. So I don't want it to bring him over and now cast the boy aside and act like he doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, this is real life. And this is people's life and feelings you're playing with. And obviously, remember, they've met outside of the villa. So, you know, they already have that kind of, you know what I'm saying? They're in the same work environment and all that kind of stuff. And it's, yeah, so you want to make sure you address this situation in a good way. So you can see the regrets on her face. She's almost like, you know, I should have followed my heart. I should have trusted him. Because she knows that Tyreek is done now. She could tell. And even the girls, even when they said to her, listen, even if you do get back Tyreek, it's not going to be the same Tyreek. So you just have to know this. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. We just have to wait and see how it unfolds and what happened. But yes, guys, I'm kind of like tuned in right now because I need to know what's going to happen. But I'm not going to lie. Love Island took me on a roller coaster of emotions tonight, especially when it comes to Ty. And then with that Montel, he's such a sleaze bag. You know what? I did not expect Montel to be like that. I feel like accountability, you know what I mean? He lacks accountability. He doesn't take any responsibility. And I think that is one of the worst things when it comes to a guy. I would not want to be with a guy that doesn't acknowledge when he's done wrong and take responsibility for the stuff that he's done wrong. Because I feel like what he did to things and how he behaved with things, for me, at the end of the day, if he can do that to her, he can do that to me. So Leah needs to be careful. She needs to be aware of the situation. But at the end of the day, movie night is gonna be a whole vibe. So I'm gonna get my popcorn and I'm gonna wait for it. I'm gonna wait for it. But anyways, guys, I've come to the end of my review. And if you haven't thumbs up this video, go ahead. What are you waiting for? Please, what are you waiting for? If you haven't liked this video already, guys, go ahead, click the like button, like the video. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Welcome, people. Please subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so you get updated every single time I upload a new video. Anyways, guys, I'm out for the night and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. But for now, keep it sassy-licious.